Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day for those who are celebrating, for all the baby daddies out there in the world. Thank you for joining us on your special day for another episode of Watch Soup. And of course, my ever trusty co-host, Sanjay from the engineer underscore wannabe channel. Well, that's your Instagram, but engineer wannabe channel.
Yeah.
Sanjay, how are you, man? How was your Father's Day? What did you do? What watch did you wear? What are you wearing now? Tell me all.
Oh, it was a busy one. Yeah, we started off at Niagara Falls because we did like a surprise trip there.
Oh, nice.
So we were there for one night, Saturday night.
Okay.
And yeah, got
So that's,
back.
so that's why you were in a hotel. You were in a
Yes,
hotel last night because
yes,
I put that comment in on your stream yesterday,
yeah.
but I had to check out, so I never saw the answer. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I was in a hotel, but started off wearing the Speedmaster.
yeah.
Because I don't know if you got it, but yesterday I'm such a watch nut that I took 3 watches with me for for a 1-day trip.
I
So
get it. I
I
understand.
yeah, I wore all 3, which is good. Um, but started the day off with the Speedmaster,
Yeah,
switched back to the Grand Seiko just in
of
time for
course.
church, and I'm now wearing the G-Shock, GWB 5600 AR. Um,
Excellent. So
yeah,
did you guys go grab some lunch today, dinner, or was the trip to Niagara Falls the whole Father's Day thing?
that was the whole Father's Day thing. But
Yeah.
we did grab lunch. We went to this new food truck location, so there was like a whole
Yeah.
bunch of food trucks.
Awesome. I
Um,
love food
yeah,
trucks.
yeah, we did that, and we went on a hike too, which is why I barely made it tonight.
Yeah.
I just got back
Well,
from my
thanks for, for making time, man. I mean, like, it
yeah,
is a busy day, and it would have been so easy to just like cancel tonight and just do it another day. But we enjoy doing this, and I think
yeah,
the chat likes it too. So
yeah.
uh
How was,
I'm wearing my Kadoke, but I didn't wear it today. Today I wore I had plans on wearing the Zen 903, and then my wife was like, let's take a trip to Nyack, New York, which is
oh,
about an
okay,
hour and a half away from where we live.
yeah.
But I know what's in Nyack, right? I know what's in Nyack, and let me just share. So I have a thing, sort of. I guess I'm collecting um,
Oh,
cuckoo clocks, right?
okay, yeah.
So my wife has bought me 2 in the past, right? Last year for our wedding anniversary, and then the Christmas 2019 into 2020. She also bought me my first one, and it's very like it reminds me of like when I was a kid going to my grandmother's house in West
Mhm.
Virginia. She had a cuckoo clock amongst other things that bring me back to that place, and so we weren't really. My wife may have been planning this, but I really didn't think this was we were actually going to do it today because it is a lot to get the kids into a car for an hour and a half and then bring them back and by bedtime and drive another hour and a half. So, so we picked up this one. This was my gift, and my wife is into it too. So this is like our gift. This is a cuckoo clock, obviously, and you have the 2 men sawing. So every time it hits an hour,
Oh,
um, it'll saw, and then you have these dancers up here. And so this is so I figured I'd give you a real nerdy, geeky, quick tutorial.
yeah.
Probably the only person interested in all this is me. But just in case there's one other person interested, these are mostly made in the Black Forest region of Germany. This has 3 cones here, right? So that'll tell you a couple of things about this cuckoo clock. One
Okay.
cone is to wind it, right, to keep the time. The other one is for the cuckoo mechanism, and then the third is for the music. So when you see a cuckoo clock with 3 cones, it'll have the tip off, it'll have music. And so when the music plays, these dancers up here in the balcony, they dance around. And so there you go. And
Wow.
and then so just to give you a frame of reference, let me go here. Now these are the two cuckoo clocks I already have, right? So these both have two cones. Now the difference here, you're going to say, wow, the cones on this one are a lot bigger than the cones on this one. Well, this is a 1-day cuckoo clock, so you have to wind this chain once a day. So that means that you basically just drag the chain. The cone might be down over here at the bottom, and then you just drag the chain up, and then it's wound. And the same thing for the cuckoo. This is an 8-day. Generally, the ones with the bigger cones. I know there's probably a lot of jokes going on, and Oil Money's probably going to make some. But the bigger cones are more of an 8-day. So you only have to wind this every 8 days. So that's cool too. So anyway, figured I didn't realize that you just stressed out the stream.
I was there for most of it.
Because I had the other screen up.
I
So
figured, yeah. I was still
so
listening.
thank you. Sorry.
No.
But anyway, so awesome Father's Day gift from
Yeah.
Mrs. Legs. We'll probably stop with 3 there.
Sure.
There's probably especially since where we have it situated and they're going to be all together. The TV's in front of it, so the kids won't grab the chains. That's the
Oh, okay.
problem, right? The chains hang
Right.
down. You need like 7 feet from the top of the cuckoo clock to the floor because of the chains.
I see.
When the kids get a little older and they're not going to pull things, right? Maybe we'll stick them around other parts of the houses. They make quartz versions of cuckoo clocks. They're smaller.
Mm.
You just put a battery in it. I'll probably get a couple of those too. They can get pretty pricey.
Oh, yeah.
These aren't fair. I mean, these are, I don't know. It's a silly amount of money to spend on anything, but there's like the real fancy ones are over 1,000. None of ours are even close to 1,000, but you can get real crazy with the cuckoo clocks. You can go
Yeah.
cuckoo for cuckoo clocks.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine since we
Yeah,
go crazy for little
I
wrist
know.
intruders.
I know exactly, man. It was crazy. This place in Nyack, New York called now I'm gonna forget the name. It's like TikTok or something. I don't know. So I'll when I figure out the name, I'll put it in the description. But it's a great place to go and visit. Cuckoo clocks if that's your thing, man. If that's your thing,
Yeah.
I'm the only
Yeah.
one probably, but if that's your thing. So that's gonna be my segment in lieu of the comments because there weren't really comments last year. But let's say hello to some of the people on the chat, and then we'll jump off. And again, StreamYard, I'm losing the earlier chat. Sorry, guys. I know there was a bunch of you guys who came in. I think I saw JCB. He was like first, and saw Megan there. Hey, Blue Shirt, what's going on? How are you? Hey, Chaz, thanks for joining us. Happy Father's Day. I hope you're getting your Alpinist soon, Seiko Alpinist. There's Roar of the Tiger. How you doing? Mike, happy Father's Day to all. Had a great day with the kids today. Awesome. Congrats. Design Atelier. What's up, Jason? Justin's here. Kevin S. How you doing? Happy Father's Day to you. Chad, Junior Johnson. Hello, sir. Joe, what's up, man? How you doing? And there's Bobby. He's here. He was on your stream yesterday too, right?
Yeah, it was.
So
That was a great conversation.
yeah. Wilson, Watch Soup is the Father's Day gift. Thanks. Peter, we just started. Don't worry, you're not late. All right, let me just review Oil Money's. I think that's okay. Sunday night's Father Day stream with Bobby Legs and Bomb Maker Wannabe. Greatest childhoods ever.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah,
complaints. I'm
yeah.
glad I grew up where I grew up.
Fortunately, Google has not demonetized me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually tell you how to do it, so
No, I know, but you got really close though, and you got
yeah,
too excited about it. By the way,
yeah, that's true.
yeah. Hey, Paul. Hey, Jeff. How are you? Let's see your calibers here. Okay. Rob Meltzer, what's up? I think I know who you are. Maybe not. Uh, Winding Watches. Colin is here. Hey, buddy. Um, let's scroll down. Catching up, guys. Hey, Scott. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Please check out Scott's Odyssey YouTube channel. He does reviews. Good stuff. He's getting started.
Okay.
Bobby is all in on German Watch. It's funny. I mean, I guess it seems that way, right? Um, when I was talking to the lady at the store who owns the store, my wife was like, "Yeah, we've talked before. I've talked to you online. To order the other cuckoo clocks before." And she's like, "Oh yes." She's like, "Yeah, my husband's into German watches too." And she's like, "Oh, like nothing, like just like German wristwatches. Like what's that?" It's just like going full lederhosen. Sure, why not? Yep, yep. Um, how do you get that big thing on the wrist? It's not easy. It's not easy, for sure. Sands of Time. Hey, man. What's up? Thanks for joining us. Did you know Invicta makes cuckoo clocks? I think you're just kidding. An 8-day, that clock is using Panerai technology. That's pretty funny. Good stuff. Good stuff from the crowd here tonight already. Hey, Rancher, how you doing? Okay, so since the cuckoo clock segment went a little long,
No,
how about we go into the review segment? Sanjay, please take it away.
yeah. So I picked out like 3 reviews this week. One of which kind of for a selfish reason, and we'll start off with that. It was a review of the Seiko Tuna. I think the reference number is the S23633J1. So this is a steel bezeled tuna.
Yeah.
And most Seiko tunas, at least the original tunas, I can't wear on my wrist, but a friend of mine who runs the channel Time to Go, Traveling Timepieces, he did this tuna review, and he went out to a location to do the review, and the location was this like replica ship. It was like a replica wreckage of a ship, and I've seen that ship driving to Niagara Falls all the time, and so he took his kayak there, and he went around the ship, and he got some really cool shots of the ship. And I thought, you know what, I didn't know that you could go and look at it. So that was kind of one of the reasons why we went to Niagara Falls. I wanted to see the ship as well. So yeah, go check that review out. That was really cool. And he reviews his Seiko Tuna right after. A great watch. He talks a bit about how the clasp kind of pinches his wrist every time you open it. It stretches out like the ratcheting system. You have to squeeze it, and it pinches your wrist. And that happened to me with my Grand Seiko diver as well. Every time I went to put the watch on or take it off, it would trigger the quick adjustment, and then you'd squeeze it to tighten it, and then it would pinch your skin. So it wasn't fun, kind of chintzy. But yeah, great review overall. It's a great looking piece. And moving on from that, Bark and Jack did a review today. Actually, I got a chance to catch it on the Breitling Premier B09, a watch Oil Money has, I think, the pistachio dialed manual chronograph. I don't know if he still has it, but I think he does because he got it recently. But yeah, beautiful watch. I still really, really like it. The pistachio color is so nice. The one reason I didn't want to get it is because I semi feel like the pistachio color is a bit of a fad, like that mint green. And I don't want to regret it, a few years from now, if I even keep a watch for a few years. But so these are the things that kind of goes around your head. But yeah, beautiful watch. He didn't mention anything about the strap. I thought the strap was plasticky and really stiff and cardboard like. I think I asked Oil Money the question before if his was like that too, but Yeah, he didn't mention the strap, but he mentioned the finishing of the movement. You know, it's very mechanical, so you can see some imperfections if you get close enough. But it's
Yeah,
a great movement, rugged, and really worth the money. Really, so great review, great shots of the watch, and very really makes you want it.
yeah.
Last but not least, it was the Vacheron Constantin Historique Americain 1921 from Teddy B. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago on Watch Soup because he picked it for his Mitch, the watch challenge he had with
Yeah.
Mitch. Um, yeah, beautiful watch, really cool. Learned a lot about it that I didn't know before. I didn't know it was so thin and so beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, a very nice watch that um, wouldn't be bad owning. Yeah, Bobby, did you think?
Yeah, I mean that VC. The first time I ever seen that VC, I saw Bill Sanders over at Watch Arts Eye. He has one in, and I think it's in gold, and such a beautiful watch, such a different look. I never saw a watch like that before. I know that they are, the Longines I think now has one, or maybe it was a vintage piece that they revitalized. I'm not really sure about the history of the one that the Longines has, but it's such a beautiful piece. I mean, I just dig it. Like you're holding the steering wheel, and you see the time like perfectly lined up like it's supposed to be. I just love that watch. I love that
Yeah,
watch. The steel is great. That to me, that piece. I mean, if you're gonna get it, you gotta have it in gold, right? I mean, in
yeah,
some sort
yellow
of
gold.
precious metal, man, because that is such a classy piece. I love that watch.
Mhm.
VC has
Yeah,
some great stuff, man. They do,
yeah,
and they're so like I know that we know them as watch enthusiasts, but like your average Joe, I mean, your run of the mill citizen does not know VC. I feel, and
yeah,
uh, and they should because they know a lot of other brands, right? I mean, maybe because of the price point, maybe that's why they don't know it. But even with the Holy Trinity, I feel like they don't command the respect in that grouping that the others get. You know, so I just love that watch. The tuna is a tuna. I'm not really crazy into tunas in
yeah.
the first place. But the one from the review, I mean, looks great. I would never get. I mean, it's just not. I there's certain. I mean, I look. I love the sumo. I think I may want to get a sumo one day. I love some of the 62 Mas Riches. I love those. I like those a lot. Let me say. The tuna, I never got into. I just never
Yeah.
got it. But still, great review and good watch. And then the Breitling, beautiful man, beautiful. I mean, I may never pick one up, but beautiful watch, and the whole thing with the strap. Um, yeah. I mean, to me, like that's not going to be the deal breaker on the watch,
No,
right?
but it was
Of
such a
course not.
perfect setup for his strap thing.
True. Hmm.
He the
Exactly. Oh, so that's right. He didn't really do anything with it, right? I mean, he didn't like. I'm trying to remember. Did he plug
he
Bark and
he did
Jack or?
something. Yeah, it
Oh,
was kind of
okay.
cringe. It was kind of cringy because he was like whispering into the microphone because he
Oh yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want.
yeah. 'Cause I know I kind of watched that review, but I wasn't really paying attention so much to it. I mean, because I was with the kids and I was trying to get it in.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
yeah.
Well, he's kind of cringeworthy, man, with the plugs, right? So
My
he
wife is
he
gonna be mad at me,
yeah
but you know, I wanted this strap to be
he,
released. If you bought two of them, you'd get 10% off.
yeah. What a weirdo. Yeah, Colin the 21 is an absolute beauty for sure. Um, Piercy, he loves the look of it. Um,
It's so beautiful. It's
yeah,
like the angles, the way it curves, and I
yeah.
I never I never got like a close look at it like I had after seeing Teddy's video, but
Mhm.
man, that was nice.
A
Made
lot of
me
love.
kind of made me kind of want the Fierce Brunswick. I don't know if you've seen. Seen that watch at
No,
all?
I haven't.
No,
No.
kind of has a vibe
Gotcha.
of that. Yeah.
A lot of love for the tuna. I mean, I know the tuna has its fanfare, for sure. But uh, I don't know. That's just So I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what Colin's talking about. But
Yeah.
uh, the tuna is a beast of a quartz diver. Yeah, yeah. I could. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love the patty also version of it. Um, to the salad. Like, okay, we got all the tuna jokes. All right, gotcha. Okay, so let's move on to the topic 6 weeks, and we got four. If we get to four, we'll get to them. But we'll try to get them in. Watch the watch guys. 6 watches I bought without thinking. Impulse buy special. Sanjay, go for it. You picked this video.
Yeah, yeah. This was really interesting. Uh, a, a lot of my watches are impulse buys, I must admit. But this gentleman who runs this YouTube channel is actually uh, a crazy collector. He's got
Hmm.
an insane collection. If you guys haven't seen it, yeah, mind blowing. But he was showcasing 6 watches that he bought impulsively, and the first one was a Panerai.
Hmm.
I meant to get back earlier and jot down all the watches, but I didn't get a chance to do that. But first one was a Panerai, which he actually kind of regrets at this
Yeah.
point that he bought it. It reminded me of the 318, the Pam 318, because instead of the Brooklyn Bridge, it had Big Ben and
Hmm.
the London cityscape. So
Yeah.
I wonder what the movement's like in that one. Um, but anyway, he he mentioned that he's not really a Panerai guy, and
Yeah.
this impulse buy didn't go so well for him. Then he moved on to a Bell and Ross
Hmm.
ceramic, which was cool. Definitely not for me. The more I saw it, but I know you're kind of into that ceramic case, Bell and Ross, if I'm not mistaken, Rob.
Yeah.
Um, he then moved on to a really cool Polar Rolex GMT Master, no, not GMT Master, GMT. What's it called? The polar dialed GMT2 Explorer 2. There you go. So this was one that had a defect in the dial that turned cream, and it
Hmm.
was a really nice shade of cream. And he saw it online. He drove to the store, and he just bought it. No regrets. He's super happy with it. And I think the last one he mentioned was a $60,000 Patek. I remember this one coming out and being really lukewarm about it because there wasn't a whole lot going on with it. It was a
Hmm.
steel Patek, um, uh, celebrating some kind of boutique opening, and there were only 1,000 pieces or something, so not even
Yes.
that limited. But yeah, he was offered it and he bought it for
Yeah.
£60,000,
Yeah.
which is crazy. That is one crazy impulse buy.
Then you
But
had the
yeah,
Milgauss, and
right. Yeah.
then the G-Shock.
Okay, yeah, the Manfred G-Shock.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Those are pretty interesting too. But
yeah.
what did you think?
So my first takeaway is there really a bad impulse buy of a Rolex, right? I mean, like,
Right.
if you impulse buy a Rolex, it's like a win-win, right? You
Yeah.
win because you get a Rolex, and even though if you don't like it and you lose, you still win because you could probably get your money back. Maybe if you time it right, make more money on it, right? So the whole Panerai thing, like, it was an impulse. That was an impulse. Obviously, I think he does. He obviously he regrets it. It's so tricky with Panerai and their limited editions. He got swirled in because he was in London. He was at their boutique that just opened up for the first time in London, Panerai boutique, and it was 1 in 100. I know that feeling when I bought my Torno Gotham. The 499 got swept up on it. You know what I mean? And totally was an impulse buy, and I regret it. That's like one of the big regrets. that I had, of course, and we all know the story. So yeah, and then the Bell and Ross, it's not his first Bell and Ross, but he's gotten a couple of them. Yeah, I mean the Patek was a no-brainer, right? As an impulse buy, I mean you get it offered one that's a piece that doesn't get offered to the general public so much or at all, right? So you kind of have to put your credit card down. So I get it. So somebody had mentioned in the chat, I forget who, but it said if we're honest with each other, all of these are impulse buys, really. But we all make them.
Yeah.
So look, I think if it's an impulse buy and we end up loving a watch, we don't even think about it. If it's an impulse buy and we hate the watch, then we're kicking ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Then we think, oh, that was just a bad impulse buy. We never think about our really good impulse buys, right? It's not like it's like we don't remember our victories. We only remember our defeats, and so I yeah, I think a lot of my purchases in the past. I mean, I take these videos and I try to relate to how it works with me and how it fits in my collection journey.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of impulse buys. I tend to make less impulse buys these days because I think I've gotten a lot of that out of my system. Although, like every once in a while, like I want to satisfy a guilty pleasure and get something, but it's usually just like a G-Shock, right?
Yeah.
Um, have you had any impulse buys lately? I
Oh.
think you have.
uh, uh, not mentioning the Speedmaster, as the mother of all impulse buys. Um, but my favorite watch actually was an impulse buy, the SPGY 003
Yeah.
Grand Seiko. I went to go buy the SPGK 009, which is a beads of rice Grand Seiko manual wound automatic. Uh, I They had misplaced it, and they felt really bad about it, and they brought out the SPGY 003, which had been discontinued or sold out for quite some time at that point. And yeah, I pivoted. I bought it immediately, and have not looked back. That's the longest standing watch in my collection, which is
Wow.
over a year, which is not very long, but
Excellent.
yeah.
Easy clean. Yes. Okay. Sure. Technically, you're right. There is a bad impulse buy. It's a Rolex Cellini for Rolex, right? Hey, Rasan, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming. Um, let's see. Panerai flourished and waned with Rambo sequels. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think Panerai is making a little bit of a comeback, or has been in the last like year or so. Uh, Bobby, your Islander watch arrives soon. It's okay to regret it already. Colin, I buy the Islander watches because I know a lot of people who watch my channel love to see Islander watches. So I will probably flip it, or I'll give it away. I'll give it away. I'm coming. Hopefully, I'll get to 2,000 subscribers soon. I'm knocking at the door, and maybe I'll give it away, and maybe you'll win it.
Yeah, there you go.
uh, hey Pete, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Sanjay needs to worry about the rage buys, not the impulse buys. Oh man, that is great. Uh, I'll take your Cellini and raise you a Pearl Master, Clayton. Oil money going all in. Rasan, impulse bought a Zenith Defy. Great watch, but never jibed with it. It's gone. Okay. Wow. I'll have to unsubscribe to make sure I don't win. Oh man, that's funny. Worst choice: Islander watch or Islander hockey team? Hey, you wouldn't be saying that, Kevin, if you were in 1981 in the middle of a 4-year Islander Stanley Cup run. Yeah, 80 subscribers to go. Megan, yep. Hopefully soon. Okay, so let's jump to the next video. And WatchBox Studios best watches under 10,000, A. Lange on the rise, etc. So there were a couple of things here in this video that I liked. the guy I forget his name, but he was talking about A. Lange and Zana and how for years you can nothing in A. Lange and Zana, you always could get a discount on any other watches, and you're starting to see that change with some models. Some models on the vintage side um, in auction have gone up for more. Some haven't still, and he made a correlation with that with FP Journe, how a couple of years ago some of the more limited edition FP Journes are going through astronomical prices, while some of the other ones you can get for less than retail. And now, because those other watches were going up in price, it kind of like what's that term, the rise, the tide, all raises all ships or something like that. So
Yeah.
that seems to happen, and he gave the kind of idea that may happen to a Lange and Zana. We know that there's something going on with Lange, right? I think some of these like watch boxes and some other dealers might be like hoarding some of the watches here, and they're taking them kind of off market so they can raise some of the prices on that. I'm not a big watch whisperer, brand whisperer, so I really don't know. It's kind of like what I've heard, so I could be wrong. And then he went into 3 watches under 10 grand. Didn't really spend that much time on it, even though it's like the clickbait um, title for the video. He was
Hmm.
talking about under $10,000 that he thought the Air King was was a good value, a great looking watch, and that he suspected that it was going to be um, uh, kind of retired from the lineup next year, um, and so prices on those may go up. What else did he mention? I totally drew a blank on the other watches. That do you remember, Sanjay?
Um,
Um,
I am drawing a blank as well. Let me get it. I got him.
and,
I think. Uh, oh, the Santos.
oh, the Santos, yeah, which is everybody's pick lately, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
now there's just plenty of videos going on those, and from what I understand, I've heard some of the guys mention that they're not available, that you have to, and it might be going over list. And then there was one more, um,
Speedmaster.
the
The
Speedmaster, right? The
yeah.
Tokyo Speedmasters, which are pretty cool looking, right?
Yeah.
And so that they in a years down the road, they might be going up. What do you think? I don't want to necessarily put you on the spot here, Sanjay, but what do you think are some of the other maybe best watches under $10,000, or do you have one in mind? Um, it's such a subjective question, because it just depends on like what you're into, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but
I would say the 806 Breitling that Colin used to
mm,
have.
yeah,
That would be one of my favorite picks under 10,000. The
yeah,
reissue with the manual wound movement. I
yeah,
think that was really nice.
yeah,
Um, what else? The Grand Seiko, name your pick. Frozen
yeah,
Lake.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be a really nice watch to have. Eight
yeah,
grand.
yeah. Bobby has just picked up a Longa, a beautiful, beautiful watch, and just in time. I know AZ Clayton also picked up one just in time before some of these, prices are going to get astronomical, right?
Yeah.
Um, Bobby's a watch buying Nostradamus. Yeah, it's true. I,
So this guy Mike Manjos, I don't know if you know him very well. I don't really know him that well. I know I've seen him in a couple of collector conversation style things, like they have that
mhm,
round table where they talk to each other. But it seems like, like a conflict of interest kind of thing for him to talk about, right?
yeah,
Another one of those, Houdinki kind of, you know, they sell those very watches, and now he's talking about, hey, buy your Langes now, before they
mhm.
shoot for the stars. And maybe he's a stand up guy, but it just made me question, hey,
Of course.
this guy's.
Yeah, we know
Uh,
what's up. I
yeah,
mean, we know, what they did with FP Journe a couple years ago. It seems
Right.
like that's what's trending here. Again, I'm no expert,
Yeah.
but yeah, Brigade Marine 5817 Almond's watch. Yeah, I mean, if pre-owned under 10 for sure. I mean, that's a great looking watch, and a whole
Mhm.
lot of you get a whole lot of watch with that. Yeah, total conflict of interest, but it's the reality, right? Like if you want a Lange, it's just gonna. I mean, it's just
Gonna
it's
skyrocket.
gonna be one of those hard to reach, hard to get pieces. Um,
Yeah.
well, Money was saying Zeitwerk 27% off, Lange one Moonphase 25%, 27% off on the Zeitwerk, 25 on the Lange one Moonphase. Good luck getting anything now. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Um, Good point, Kevin. Geo has many watches under 10K that are beautiful. You're absolutely right. Kind of makes me want to rush out and get a Geo. You know, hopefully, probably within the next year. I mean, hopefully, I'm not too late. But yeah, I mean, like I think a lot of people, again, not us because we're tuned into the watch. We're enthusiasts. We're tuned into the watch market, but a lot of people are sleeping on Geo. And yeah. Okay.
70 chrono.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say, I mean, I like the 70s chrono. I think I'd pass on the chrono and just get the 70s, just with the big date.
Yeah.
Um, but the chronos, I mean, especially the new release on the teal, the yellow, not crazy so much, but that teal is just beautiful. But it's like 14 grand, 14, 15 grand, and that might be in euros. But I mean, and it's limited to 250 pieces. So I don't know. Would there be a discount? I'm not sure. Maybe I have to wait a couple years to
Hmm.
see. Megan saying, but I don't like buying off WatchBox unless they have something rare and unique. Alternatively, a deal I can't say no to. Yeah, I've never bought from WatchBox. Have you,
No.
Sanjay?
No.
No.
Nope.
Uh,
Loyal
yeah,
to my AD.
yeah, gotcha. Geo is very good value across tire range. Totally agree. Um, Underachieving watch collector Roman Sharf said in one of his vids, he and WatchBox are buying long in hopes to drive up prices. Yeah, I think I did hear about that.
Hmm.
Um, Panorama Geo in silver at WatchRecon for 5,800. Yeah, I mean you can find great deals. Geo in the secondary market, pre-owned market is the way to go. Okay, so let's go. And Bruce Williams had a video this week. My first $6,000 watch, Zenith or Omega. A viewer wrote him a letter, and basically, he was thinking about buying. This viewer had saved up $6,000. Initially, was thinking Omega, SMP, and then tried it on and thought it was like a little too bulky. I mean, but he did have like a 7.25, 7.5 inch wrist.
Yeah.
And then was throwing around the idea of the Tissot Powermatic, but also the Zenith Defy. And so the reason why I like this video for a couple of reasons is because you've had both a Zenith and you have Omega, Sanjay. So I wanted to hear your take on it. I think Bruce gave him some solid advice
He did.
going with the Seamaster Omega. I think for $6,000 and under, if he was considering that watch in the first place, it's so hard to do better than that watch, right? It's its
Yeah.
own watch. It's not trying to be a Submariner like the Zenith is trying, in the whole integrated bracelet, Royal Oak theme segment. And it's just great tech on that watch. The movement is insane. You can get it in a couple of variations that look awesome, and it's an all timer. What did you think, Sanjay?
Yeah, I thought the advice was really solid. I like that he prefaced it with the fact that the result, the end is based on the guy. Like the
Mm-hmm.
viewer who wrote the email has to decide. But if you want to know what I would do, kind of like if I was in your position, this is what I would do. Kind of prefacing was really interesting, really good, I think. And he gave the reasons why Bruce would pick the Seamaster. And he was talking about this being this first luxury watch,
Hmm.
this gentleman's first luxury watch. And it's nice to say that you have an Omega, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
And later down the line, you might want to add a titanium
Hmm.
Zenith, and move on to whatever else that is. The Aquaterra,
Yeah.
I think, was another option. And yeah, I think that it was interesting that he mentioned that the Aquaterra was kind of plain, which
Mm.
I kind of have that feeling too. I don't quite understand why. I think the
Yeah.
Aquaterra is super interesting on paper, like a beautiful dial.
Yeah.
The teak deck pattern dial
Hmm.
is beautiful. The twisted lugs, the finishing,
Yeah.
everything is beautiful on paper. But when you see it, I've always felt a bit underwhelmed. And this guy who wrote in kind of mentions that too. Um, just a little aside there, but yeah, the advice was solid. I would go for the Seamaster as well. I haven't had the Defy Classic that was
Hmm.
mentioned here. My Zenith was
El
the same
Primero.
one you had, yeah, the
Yeah.
38 mil El Primero, which was a beautiful watch. And I wouldn't mind owning that again. But the Omega is just really cool. It has this cool factor that I think is hard to beat at that price point.
Yeah. Rasan saying that the Aquaterra felt better than the Defy on wrist. I've owned both at the same time. Okay. Um, Everyday watch guy. I think the Aquaterra is a very dynamic, but I'm biased for buying one a couple weeks ago. See, like I don't find the Aquaterra maybe as boring as you or the guy on the email. I love to look at it. I've seen one in person, and I think it looks awesome. And
Yeah,
I think on on that rubber strap, the blue dial version, that's the one that I'd hone in on with that blue rubber strap that Omega has. Just looks so fantastic, man. I mean, and it's versatile, right? I mean, I know you know that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but I think in this case, that watch it's a good thing because you can dress it up. It's got a hell of a movement in it, 150 meters water resistance. Um, that teak style dial. I like everything about it, and you know, almost bought it a few times.
yeah,
Um, now, let's see what Wilson. You can't go wrong with Omega if you buy right. Zenith is when you're deeper down the rabbit hole, and that's a good point because
yeah.
what are the chances that somebody getting into the hobby knows Zenith, but they probably know Omega, right? They probably know Omega. Um, if you had to start over again, Sanjay, and you dabbled a little bit with affordables, you're saved up some money, maybe $5,000, $6,000. Let's say $5,000, and you wanted to get a luxury piece. What do you think you'd go with? Would you do things differently?
No, I would still go. My first luxury piece was the Snowflake, and I would still go that route
Hmm.
because I learned so much going that way. I did a whole bunch of research, all the
Yeah.
different how the movement worked. I spent hours agonizing over how the movement worked, and it was I learned so much that I wouldn't trade that that
Hmm.
part of the
Sure.
history. So I would still go Snowflake. I'd probably not get some of the pieces that I knew I flipped. Maybe not get the two tone Tudor Black Bay 36 that I got.
Hmm.
Because I took a bath on that when I was
Yeah.
selling it. So, there's a lot of things I changed, but the first step into luxury, I'd keep the same. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. My first luxury purchase um, was the Girard Perregaux, the Seahawk 2, and although albeit that I love that watch, I still have it in my collection 16 years later. And I really, because of it, really become fond of Girard-Perregaux as a brand. I'd probably, knowing now with all the available information that I have, internet, YouTube, I probably wouldn't go Girard-Perregaux. I mean, I'd probably at the $5,000 range, I'd probably either go Seamaster or Tudor.
Yeah.
I think, if I had been dabbling for a little while with the affordables, yeah, I think that's probably where I would go. Now, again,
But
like you, I don't think I would change anything, uh, which kind of like is contrary to what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, no, no. I was about to cut you off, so you made me stay in my lane. um, the 16 years ago, though, you had your pick of the litter when it came to Rolex steel sports models.
Absolutely, but I didn't know much, right? I didn't know
Right.
much. The reason why I got that watch in the first place is because I was hanging out with some guys who were making a whole lot more money than I was, and I saw that same Girard-Perregaux on a friend of mine at the time. He was a friend on his wrist, and I was like, I want that watch. I had no idea about Girard-Perregaux. Yes, I've heard of Rolex. Yes, I heard of Tag Heuer and Seiko. But I just liked the way it looked at the time, and I was like, I want that watch. And then, like, a few weeks later, I found an AD in New Jersey who had it.
Mm.
At that time, I didn't. I mean, I knew Rolex was probably. I'm trying to go back to that time frame because the guys that I were hanging out with, they were wearing Frank Muller's and Panerais because that's what was popular back then, right? So not too many of the guys I knew, and this was like a younger crowd. This is like my age at the time, so like late 20s, early 30s. They weren't wearing Rolex because maybe at the time we probably thought like, or I probably thought that Rolex was like more of an older man's watch.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have known the way Rolex had exploded or would have exploded in the next like few years, right? Next decade, right?
Right.
It may have changed. And a few years after that, in 2007, I actually did want to get a Submariner, but I got talked into the Gotham. So it was Rolex was still on my radar at some point, but I still didn't know. I wasn't really delving into hobby. I was hanging out with some watchmakers who were telling me stuff, but it wasn't all consuming like it is today. You know.
Yeah.
But you're
Hmm.
right. I would have had to pick of the litter at
Yeah.
that time. You know,
Daytonas.
absolutely, absolutely. Let me let me go. You never go full Gotham, right? I'm not a Tudor fan. Omega and Tudor are great choices. Thanks, Gavin. Um,
16 years ago, there wouldn't have been that much to choose from the Tudor catalog, right? They
no, no,
weren't even
no,
in
no,
the US.
no, no. But I mean, I'm saying like now. If I started now, I'm sorry. Like
Oh, I
that's
see.
what I'm sorry. Okay. If I started today and I
Right.
wanted a new watch, if I was getting into
Gotcha.
my new first, that's what I meant. That's where I was going. I apologize. I should have
Oh, no, no.
prefaced that. Um, but you're right. No, at that time, no. But today, if I was starting over, that's where I would go.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah.
we would all buy sub Hawks. Yeah, man, dude, those are out in the late 2000s, whatever they're called. And I was looking at them too. I think they were like maybe just over 5K, something crazy, right? Um,
Yeah.
let me just Time Hill at 5K. I would go Grand Seiko, Snowflake, like Sanjay. Justin, not a big fan of the whole Black Bay family. That's fair. Um, Interesting. In the absence of hype, you didn't choose a Rolex, Keith. True, true. But pair that up with me not knowing much about watches at the same time. So if I knew more about watches, maybe I would have definitely gone Rolex. You know, but that's a fair comment, Pete. The toxic 2000s. and Frank Muller and Panerai. Okay, like so I have a Panerai, and and man, I still like Frank Muller.
Yep,
Yeah,
I know you do.
Rasan, I'd go B01 Navitimer pre beer 01. Yeah, great watch. A good Bruce Williams watch would be a Rolex Air King with a scratch dial from Zen. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to our last one. And this is a feel good video, right? 24 hours at a time. I got a new
Yeah.
Breitling as a gift. Sanjay, you picked this one.
Yep.
Tell us
Yep.
about it.
So Oleg actually was sharing how he has this business partner. They do deals together, whatever that may entail, and when they have a successful business venture, I guess they gift each other something. But this time, his friend gifted him a Breitling, and it turned out to be a Breitling Avenger. It was really really a great gift. Um, I'm not sure, how much the guy would have had to make on the deal to be able to
Right.
give such an insane gift. But what was cool to me, what really stood out to me was the packaging. I had no idea Brightling was going this in this direction with the packaging. So he showed off the packaging,
Hmm.
which you can unbutton. Basically, the
Yeah.
box is really tiny. It's like a coffin almost that you get shipped in, and you can unbutton everything, and it lays flat, and you can just put it in your drawer, so it saves space. The watch pillow unfolds itself and becomes like a travel watch roll, a single watch roll, which I found mind-boggling, like mind-blowing. This is so cool, and as nice as the watch was, I was way more excited about this packaging,
Yeah.
and and yeah, it was a cool video. Not a whole lot to talk about. It wasn't a review or anything. Just the
Hmm.
fact that he got this gift, he was excited about it, and he wanted to show off this Breitling packaging. Um, I know, Oil Money got Oil Money got the B09. Did you get that packaging, Oil Money, on the watch? Like the folding packaging that turns into nothing basically, which is really cool. But yeah, what do you think about it, Rob?
Well, I mean, I love hearing stories like that, like getting a awesome gift, like somebody knowing you so well. It also helped
Yeah.
that he said that his friend was also into watches, right?
Yes.
But having somebody in your life who knows you so well that if they felt compelled to give you a really nice gift, that it was a watch. And I know Oil Money's making fun of the Avenger, but um, it's a good solid watch. For a gift, it's a solid gift of a watch, and that's awesome, man. I was happy for Oleg. I like Oleg. I like his.
Yeah.
I've been watching him for a while now, and his channel is growing nicely, and so it's good to see, and I look forward to his video. But I'm happy for him. Now, would you ever gift somebody a watch other than your wife? Let's forget about your wife. I mean, whether she's into watches or not, she probably is not like us.
Yeah.
But if you felt compelled to, would you gift a watch to another watch enthusiast?
Oh, another watch
Yeah,
enthusiast.
yeah. Let's make it a little harder.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I know us watch enthusiasts are really um finicky, persnickety. So I probably wouldn't. Maybe a gift card to a watch AD. That way they can get what they really like. But to a non-watch person, yeah, yeah, I have quite a few that I want to. Um,
Oh, right, your buddy, right, who has never had a watch before, right? Are you gonna, are
yeah,
you
yeah.
gonna...
That I plan to get. Plan to get him something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think it's so I think it's like pretty scary to gift a watch to somebody who's a watch enthusiast because you know that if you miss on that gift, right, that they're going to be just super critical in their mind. They're going to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like, oh, this is a piece of shit, and then they're like, I can't. It's like I can't sell it because it's a gift.
Yeah, it's bad.
Uh, let's
Oh,
see what. Remind Bobby that about that 34 millimeter Seiko you gifted your wife and have to wear yourself now, Sanjay.
yeah. Well, I got a his and hers Seiko to go kind of with my snowflake. It was a 34 millimeter Presage cocktail time with a snowflake dial, and my wife really doesn't wear it that much, so I found it wore really nicely on my wrist. So, considering I have small wrists, and I wear it.
Kevin's gifted many Seikos to non-watch enthusiasts and have always brought them into the hobby. Very nice. Kevin, the watch ambassador. Roller Tiger, I love the new Breitling top time, but I'm not keen on paying a premium for the Deus edition. Let's see here. Gifting a watch is risky because if you pick something they don't like, you could be stuck. Just happening recently to one of my friends with a Rolex. So they didn't like the Rolex?
It's a lot of Rolexes that one
Yeah.
might not like. And like you said, then you can't sell it to get something you do like.
Right. You can't, right? Oh man. Wilson is calling you a slickster. You knew that she wouldn't wear it.
It's in the back of my mind.
Yeah. So Sanjay, what do you got this week? Got anything coming up on your channel?
No solid plans.
Yeah.
I hope to do a couple of reviews probably in the next week or two. I have to catch up.
Yeah.
I really have to do a review on the two-tone Grand Seiko that I purchased. Um, but yeah, other than that, just Saturday night stream will go on as usual, and I'll be on Instagram at engineer wannabe _wannabe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Uh,
about you?
I got a couple of things. Tomorrow at some point I'll be releasing a review, a collection review. My friend Mr. G, who
Okay.
that's his tag name. He has a very extensive collection, but we'll only be focusing on his German watch collection,
Well,
which is which is awesome. So at some point tomorrow that'll be released, and then I will be doing. I've done it with my other Cuckoo clocks, but we'll be doing an unboxing. Even though we bought it today, they put it in a box. So I'll do an unboxing along with the Islander ILSL 79, the Panerai style Islander that
okay.
Colin will be on his edge of his seat, ready to watch. So
Hoping
if
to
you,
win.
yeah, hoping to win. And then I got a lot. I got a lot of reviews myself. I got to catch up on. I still got to review my Jaeger and Benziger. I still got to review my Kadoke, which I'm very nervous about reviewing these two
Hmm.
for some reason. So that's why I've been putting them off. And then I have a one of those new Seiko Presage, the green one with the crazy green dial. It's almost like a fume dial. The cocktail time.
Okay.
So I got that. So I got, like you, I got a lot of catching up to do. I got a lot of work to do during this week. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can get them done. But get them done, then you have some content for the next week or so, which is nice. But yeah, man. So was this a 3-day weekend for you, or yeah,
Yes.
it must have been. Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thankfully, I am beat. I would
Yeah,
not have been happy to go to work tomorrow.
yeah,
But
yeah. I was able to sleep in.
yeah.
Mrs. Legs, got the kids this morning when they woke up at god awful early, whenever they wake up, and I was able to sleep in. I stayed in bed until 9. It was nice. So
Yeah, last night was a disaster for me. Like at 12 o'clock, there was this massive racket coming from the bathroom. I thought the place was going to explode. At 10:30, before that, the fire alarm went off, woke up our kids,
oh,
and and then at 12:30 a.m., there were a bunch of drunk people pretending to puke all over the floor outside our door, and I was like, "What is going
Ah,
on?"
wait,
And
wait.
then,
They were threatening.
well, they're pretending.
Oh, okay, okay,
They're just laughing, having a good time, I guess. But
okay.
at 2 o'clock, my daughter fell off the bed and smacked her head on the floor.
Oh no, man. Oh man, go get some sleep, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully the kids are in bed now, man. But
they
go
are.
get some sleep, man. And again, Sanjay, great doing this with you. Thank you,
Yeah.
chat, for being involved as you are. Awesome. I'm sorry I didn't get to all your comments, but we'll do better next time. And guys, have a great evening. See you next week.
Yep. See you
Bye.
guys. Bye.